Well, hello there, everybody. Thought I would hop on in here and give you a little live stream before the weekend. So, my name is Brianna. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Brianna, and I am an author, educator, Reiki practitioner, and creative arts therapist with over 12 years of experience in the field. I also happen to be an online entrepreneur, and I love to teach therapists, coaches, and healers how to scale their practice beyond the one-to-one business model online. Specifically, I teach them how to create a 6-week signature program and launch themselves into the online stratosphere. And so basically what I teach in my program are the 9 steps that I use to start bringing in up to $10,000 a month in online revenue. Now, because you are here probably because you have expressed an interest in my program, and I can assume, therefore, that you have a desire to earn more money in your profession, to call in the abundances that truly are your birthright, and that will give you the freedom to really pursue the things that you want. Travel, right? Paying off your debt, expanding your practice, spending more time with family, things like that. I feel you. That's where I was about 1.5 years ago. But you know what? I find that most people don't realize that they're not only repelling money without realizing that they're doing it, but they're actually pushing it away. And I was truly guilty of this myself before I revolutionized my mindset, scaled my practice online, and as I said before, started bringing in up to $10K per month. Now, certainly nobody means to push money away, right? No one wants to push money away. Push money away? No, that's not what we want to do. But we do tend to do it, and often it's in largely unconscious ways. And we do it in 3 ways specifically, and that is what I'm going to talk about in this video here today. So the first thing is we think we have to work hard for our money. The second thing is we think money is a measure of our deservedness. And of course, working hard makes you deserving, right? And then we focus on what we don't have. So let's dive into the first one, working hard for the money. Well, does life ever seem kind of unfair to you? Maybe you have wanted success, you've applied yourself well, you got all A's in school, you're kind of a go-getter, high achiever, and yet nothing seems to work out for you. Maybe in your life or in your career, you might have gotten some satisfaction out of, let's say, meeting the expectations of your boss or your mentors, or, you know, for the people around you who told you what you needed to do to be successful, be on time, do your best, work hard, play hard, strive for greatness, never give up, things like that. And yet somehow they just didn't quite work out, right? Oh, you know, from time to time, they probably did, but it's like an uphill climb. The harder you work, maybe you gain a little momentum, maybe you get that promotion, but it ends up being even more work on top of that. And it's like more money, more problems, right? How many cliches can we throw out here? So to make matters worse, you might find someone working not nearly as hard as you, and yet they have twice as much success. Well, how could it be that they are achieving so much for so little? What do they know that you don't? Well, when you've worked really hard for something and you don't get the results that you want, it's very easy to become defensive, envious, maybe even condemning of someone else's success because it's painful to watch them live the life that you want that has eluded you. But the point is that when you condemn the financial success that you crave, you close yourself off from it vibrationally. And so anytime you cringe and withdraw because you think someone is too salesy, or you think someone has money, or someone who has money is somehow less morally righteous than you, or maybe you put yourself at a distance from people that you think are too money grubbing, right? When you do that, you put a distance between yourself and the abundances that are your desires. And so I really want you to take this to heart. The more joyful, easeful, and receptive that you are towards money and your right to it, the more you are going to attract. Now, this is in part about owning your worth, but it's really more about realizing that your worth is not tied up in how hard you work or in the things you do or how many hours you've suffered and logged in, okay? Money responds to inspired action because inspired action originates with joy, with pleasure. inspired action doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. And when you feel joy and pleasure and play, good ideas come, creative ideas come. And that is your soul talking. That's your soul telling you the ways in which you could be making money easily if you'd only step outside of judgment and take off that guilty hat, right? And that leads me to my second point about money, which is we have this idea that money is a measure of deservedness, okay? We've got a lot of stories about money. Sometimes we have a sense of righteousness and deservedness tied up in how much we have suffered for money, how much our parents have suffered for money, how much our parents' parents have suffered for money, how much our parents and our parents' parents have suffered at the hands of people who had money, right? So there's something that I really want to clarify here, and that is money is not a reflection of deservedness. Even the notion of deservedness is born of judgment, and that idea keeps you small in any and every context. So whether it is to think that someone is very deserving or to think someone is not so deserving, okay? So money, it doesn't make those judgments. It's not so discerning. It just responds to the way that you feel about it, okay? So think of it this way. Money is like an estranged lover, and you have wronged money. Money just wants to take you on a date. Money just wants to rub up against you. Money just wants to buy you all kinds of amazing stuff and woo you because money just loves you so much. Money keeps texting you, but you won't text money back because you're a lover that's afraid of intimacy. You can't let yourself get too close to money because money's too good for you. No, money. Stop calling me money. You're too good for me, money. Don't you see? I don't deserve you, money. It's not you. It's me. You think I'm joking, but I'm serious. I see this all the time. So this is what your unconscious says every time you tell yourself that your integrity is compromised when you raise your rates, or you are consumed by guilt when you don't agree to a sliding scale fee or offering your services for a trade, or when you tell yourself, no one would buy my online course, or you tell yourself that you can't do something or learn something new because, oh, it's too overwhelming, or I'm not a tech person, oh, it's too late, I'm too old, or whatever the story is, right? Or this one, I haven't earned it yet. I haven't worked enough stepping stone toxic jobs yet to be able to move into a sphere that I'm uncomfortable with, okay? I think that's a myth. I don't think anyone has to suffer like that to get to where they need to go. You don't need to earn it. I am blessed and I'm grateful for every toxic job I had because it was a point of contrast that brought me to this place today. But you know what? In reflection, I didn't have to do that, especially not with the 9 steps that I've learned how to implement now. So I just want to make clear that none of these ideas about deservedness have anything to do with integrity, okay? And your relationship to money has nothing to do with integrity. It has nothing to do with deservedness. Next time you see someone revealing how filthy rich they are, let alone reveling in it, you know what you do? You bless them for it. You say, bless them, and you send them tons of love because you know what? Then maybe you'll catch money's attention too. Oh, yes, that's right. You just held eye contact with money for about 30 seconds, and now money's giving you that wide smile, and they just bought you a drink, and they're heading across the room for introductions. Oh, yes. Anytime you see somebody with money, you bless them, okay? You bless them. And if you just felt a resistance to blessing someone else's successes, you really need to dig that shit up and get rid of it ASAP, especially if you want to be abundant in your field. Well, if you want to make the kind of boy band money that I plan to make and have fun with it, right? Now, this is the last thing. We focus on what we don't have. The point I want to make here is that oftentimes when you are desiring money, you are coming from a place of lack, coming from a place of suffering, of resentment, of pain, right? Maybe we're in debt, or maybe we want things that we think are too expensive, or we have bills to pay, and so we pay attention to what we don't have, and we fear more not having. Okay, so we dream of money to provide us some kind of relief, but the connection that we are making in that instance is that we suffer for money. Okay, we suffer for the lack of it. And according to the universal law of attraction, which incidentally happens to be similar to one of the 3 laws of quantum physics, which is that you create your own reality, right? Whatever vibration you hold, or let's say your emotional frequency, if you prefer, while focusing on a topic, the more that frequency is going to attract of that subject to you. So for example, if someone raises the subject of money and you feel fearsome, and worrisome about it, and you're stressed about it, you're going to attract more situations that make you feel fearsome, worrisome, and stressful about money. Okay? If you talk about money with a feeling of elation and expectancy and pleasure and respect, then you will attract more money situations that make you feel that frequency. Okay? Now, it might seem a cruelty, but really this is a blessing because it means that you do not need to rely on the rules of the outside world. Isn't that fucking fantastic? I think it's amazing. It's the biggest goddamn revelation that I've had in the 36 years of my life. And I've had it in the past year and a half. And the difference between me 2 years ago and now is incredible. Incredible. Okay? You do not need to rely on the rules of the outside world. That means that you can surrender the hows and simply be open to receiving what inspiration you need to show you the next step in building the material apparatuses for calling in the abundance in whatever form you want. And so in this instance, we're talking about money because money is just energy. Okay? Now, as I said before, money arrives in exchange for inspired action. The kind of boy band money I want to make, right? And so the more you can put yourself in a feeling state of being wealthy, in a loving state with money, okay, and not feeling guilty about it, all right, you actually open yourself up to receiving mode, okay? And once you do that, the next steps for building those channels to funnel more money in, they show up. They show up and or they reveal themselves to you. Now, I want you to think of it as like you're going on a road trip, okay? And you're driving and your friend is in the seat next to you. They're the navigator, okay? Now, as the driver, is it helpful for you, for your friend to give you all the directions right away before you've even turned the key in the ignition? No, that's not helpful at all because you're going to get flustered, overwhelmed. You're not going to know where you're going, right? Isn't it much more easier for that person to give you the next step each step of the way, right? Isn't it actually a quicker and more efficient way of getting there? So, you know, a lot of people shirk the law of attraction because they're like, oh, I've been doing all this wishing, wanting, and nothing shows up. But you have to remember, we don't actually want our things to be satisfied right away. Because if you want something and it immediately appears, so much of that, you're going to get bored. You're going to get bored. It is the contrast that you experience in the receiving of the step-by-step instructions that make it joyful. And that also take you to where it is that you really want to go, which is to have experienced the journey and then step into the fruits of the rewards, right? And so basically the solution to this is shifting your mindset. And I'm going to be talking about mindset all this month in the next few weeks because we're going to have a big free challenge during our enrollment period on how to shift your mindset. It's going to be a 5-day challenge on shifting your mindset. Now, the best way to start shifting your mindset around these 3 money myths specifically is to start changing your story around money, okay? So I want to give you a story to illustrate my point. And this was originally told by the amazing female entrepreneur, Amanda Francis, who is a millionaire herself. And so she tells the story of 4 businesswomen sitting at a table. And this is the first time they're meeting each other. They've met at a business conference. And so one woman says that, oh, she's just made her first 6-figure year. She's really excited about her projects. Another woman says that she just launched her first online course and it's doing well and she's, kind of starting to build her business. And the third woman says, oh, well, I'm in retail. And then she kind of gets up to go get more food from the buffet. While she's gone, her friend leans over and tells the other 2 women, actually, she runs a $3.2 billion business. She's the CEO and it's in a retail company. Now, the women are not awed by this other person's modesty. Oh, no. They feel robbed. Why would she do that? Why would she not share with these 2 younger women sitting across from her the success that could be possible for them? Why would she not want to inspire them as women, as budding entrepreneurs? Okay. To my mind, this really illustrates this sort of crossroads that we are at in our mentality as a society and as a whole. Keeping ourselves small is not humble. It's not modest. It's not greater integrity to do that. Okay. For those that can only be inspired uniquely by you, you do them a disservice when you keep yourself small. When you judge, criticize, or condemn or envy the person that has more success or money than you, you keep yourself small. But when you bless them, remember what I told you what happens? Money gives you a little wink and buys you a drink from across the room, right? Start switching your mindset and blessing the things that you want when you see them, and they will start showing up for you, okay? The world doesn't need more modest successes. It needs to know what is possible, inevitable, and yes, achievable, okay? So what I've managed to do in my online business, which, as I said before, bring in up to 10K per month, it may not be normal for therapists, coaches, and or healers, but you know what? It could be. It could be. I had no experience in business before doing this. I had no experience in online technologies. I did have a degree in design, so I had a creative eye, but I didn't know any of this other stuff. I learned it. I invested in coaching myself, and I learned how to do it. I also did it as a single mother with a broken heart, recovering from a miscarriage, and taking care of family members with chronic illnesses. Oh, and no job, right? But I had nothing left to lose. I had nothing left to fear. And so I decided that I was only going to be available for a next level kind of existence. Screw the 9 to 5. I wasn't going to do it anymore. Okay. But it did not happen overnight. It happened step by step, moment to moment, with small risks opening up to bigger risks, and the larger the leaps I was willing to take. And they ultimately did come to me. You know, a year ago, if someone had said, you know, you're going to be putting most of the money you make back into hiring a team, I would have said, you're crazy, right? I now have a team of 4. And today I've set up an interview for adding on another team member in Facebook ads specifically. Okay. So step by step. All right. So I have developed my program, The Abundant Healer in 90 Days to Scale Your Practice Online, because it is my desire, my sole purpose, to elevate and inspire the amazing members of my community. And in my experience, it starts with mindset and it ends with fiscal freedom, right? Because I have found that in order to really elevate my community, you can't just be inspiring. You also have to be a model for what it means to be fiscally responsible, right? Because that is the concrete, that is the material, that is the piece that's missing so much from human service workers, from people who are here to serve, right? And it's my belief that if you are here to serve, then the servants need to be kept well so that they can serve better. And I need to teach you how to do that, okay? And I can teach you how to do that, and I will. Now, to get you started, here is a money story that I would encourage you to record for yourself and listen to before bed every night, because that's what I do. And it's inspired by Amanda Francis and also Abraham Hicks' writings. So here we go. I like the idea that money is available as the air I breathe. I like the idea of breathing money in and breathing money out. I'm happy to understand that with practice, I can control my attitude about money, that the reason money would come to me is because of the massive amounts of joy and gratitude I feel when I think about money. I am ready to receive money, and I have more than enough space for it. I notice that the more I tell a story of abundance, the better I feel. I like knowing that I am the creator of my own reality and that money flows into my experience in a way that is directly related to my focus and my attitude. I feel confident that in time I will align my thoughts with abundance and money will flow powerfully towards me and my experience. I understand that people around me hold many different perspectives about money and that it is not necessary for me to understand or agree with their opinions. I am relieved to know that I do not have to sort that out. It is very nice to know that my only work is to align my thoughts about money with my desires, and that whenever I feel good about it, I have found that alignment within me. I feel supported by money. I feel appreciated by money. I feel like money is on my side. I feel good about having money, and I'm excited to receive it. I do not believe there's anything bad, wrong, greedy, or selfish around me having lots of money. There is no conflict or duplicity or uncertainty in my energy around money. I am sure, I am clear, I am clean. There are so many ways in which to expand my life in meaningful ways. The more money I have to support the people and causes that I love, to travel, to learn, to teach, to create. Money, it can't run out. There is always money circulating in the world, and all I must do is be energetic match for it. It's like angels singing. When I think of money flowing to me, I see myself wading knee-deep in it. Wads of cash just spill out of my closets and onto the floor. My faucets run liquid gold, and sometimes I fill up the tub and splash around in it. I laugh at the ease of it, the pleasure of it. I also see myself sending it out again and fattening my investments, rewarding my employees, and advertising myself to my soul clients. And as the money I give is received, it becomes multiplied and returned to me tenfold. Only now those that I serve are receiving and giving in the same way, and so abundance flows plentifully throughout my beloved community. Scarcity attitudes fall away from those that are intended to live well, and so they serve well simply by living authentically and creatively in honor of their soul purpose. And this is my soul purpose. So if you have enjoyed this post and you would like to learn more, I encourage you to sign up for the caption in the link of this particular video. There is a free PDF. It is a 9-step framework for scaling your practice online. It is the exact 9 steps that I use to scale my business and start bringing in $10K per month. Okay, it's a free download. And there are also links to other trainings and videos like this in that PDF. So I encourage you to download it now and keep your ears and your eyes tuned to the feed, because we're going to be doing 2 live streams a week up until April 1st. And then it's 3 live streams a week. And we're going to be pitching our Mindset Reset Challenge for open enrollment. All right, so I look forward to seeing you more. If you have comments, questions, things you want to raise in the feed, I hope to see them in the captions below.